The 1993-94 season ended the way it began, on a wave of optimism. Borough narrowly missed out on the playoffs, but they signed off with a superb 5-2 win at Charlton. 10 days later, Ayresome Park celebrated the arrival of new player boss Brian Robson, and clearly Borough fans were thrilled by the start of a new era. By landing the former England skipper from Premier League champions Manchester United, the club's dynamic new regime had confirmed their exciting ambitions for Middlesbrough Football Club.
I'm really going to look forward to managing Middlesbrough and playing for Middlesbrough. Let's hope it's going to be a successful time. I don't want to promise too much at the start, but let's hope that somewhere along the line we can get back in the Premier League where Middlesbrough deserves to be.
The first evidence of the size of Borough's ambitions was unveiled 3 days before Christmas, when Borough revealed the plans for a superb new stadium. Costing £16 million and with a potential for a capacity of 42,000, this was the club's confident vision of the future, aimed at making Middlesbrough the Wembley of the North.
I think it takes time to develop and time to build anything. I don't think the club has necessarily lacked ambition, it's lacked the ability to achieve its ambition. We've achieved something today, we've achieved a super stadium. What we now need to do is work to building a super team.
The man in charge at the start of the season, of course, was Lenny Lawrence, hoping to make a speedy return to the top flight in his third year as manager. There were grounds for optimism, but it turned out to be a real roller coaster season.
Peak, Hignett, Moore, all there to have a go. Hignett tries it. Great goal, Craig Hignett. You won't get a much better finish than that.
This exclusive video is packed with all the highlights from an eventful season, from Ayresome Park to Pisa, where Borough fans enjoyed a midweek break in picturesque surroundings. Before the season began, Borough made no major signings to boost their promotion bid, but there were departures. Willie Falconer was signed by Sheffield United, and Jimmy Phillips moved on to Bolton Wanderers. Alan Kernaghan soon followed the exodus and a £1.2 million move to Manchester City, but the Borough skipper did start the season at Ayresome Park. The club's immediate future was in the hands of the youngsters. England's 19-year-old youth star Jamie Pollock signed a new 2-year contract, the local lad opting to hang on to his roots. Craig Hignett, the boy from Crewe, was set to prove his mark in the best possible manner. A 4-goal blast against Brighton sent his confidence soaring, while the real babe in the Borough lineup was 18-year-old Alan Moore, arguably the hottest young property in the North East. The target was promotion for the second time in 3 seasons, and optimism was destined to soar as Borough made a scorching start to the season. On the opening day, 3 teenagers lined up for Borough in the big kick-off at Notts County: Jamie Pollock, Richard Lieberd and Alan Moore, who was destined for a spectacular start to the season.
Wilkinson running into space, good ball from Wilkinson. Oh, he scored! A superb goal from Paul Wilkinson, set up by John Hendry, and all that as a result of a mistake in the middle of the park by Phil Turner. Moore, good run from Moore, shot first time, oh, tremendous goal! What a killer blow right on the half-time whistle. Again, slack defending at the back. Alan Moore picked that ball up halfway inside the county half, squeezed his way through 2 defenders, and then hit a wicked left foot shot from just outside the box that flew into the bottom left-hand corner of Steve Cherry's goal. Cross comes in, not a good one. Back with Moore, tries a first-time shot. Oh, it's there! Unbelievable. From literally out of nothing, the ball came back to Alan Moore. He looked up, swung the left boot, and Steve Cherry, 6 on the edge of the 6-yard box. Could only watch it sail over his head. It was a mistake, and McSwiggan's got a chance. He's taken it too far. Pulled down, penalty. Mark Draper's got the chance to put County back in the game. He does. At the moment, but he should still be able to get the distance. There it goes. Flick on, it's in! Gary Lund.
Despite County's late fight back, Borough were always good value for their 3 points. The opening home match came against one of the pre-season promotion favourites, Derby County. The Rams had kicked off with a 5-0 thrashing of Sunderland on the opening day, but Borough soon brought the Rams back to earth with a bump.
Ball chipped towards Wilkinson, the far post, the head comes in. Tommy Wright, the ball still free, driven in, Middlesbrough an early lead. And it's skipper Alan Kernaghan who gives Middlesbrough that lead. The ball was driven in from the far side, headed down. The first shot blocked, it fell to Kernaghan, and Kernaghan gleefully hammered the ball into the side netting. Only 3.5 minutes gone at Ayresome Park, their first home game of the First Division. It's Middlesbrough 1, Derby County 0. Far side swinging in. Wilkinson's head goes up, the ball falls to Mustoe. Mustoe half hit the shot, still isn't clear. County struggling to clear the lines, and Middlesbrough looking to capitalise. Moore, oh that's brilliant from the youngster. Moore, first time shot just wide. Morris, again chipping the ball towards the penalty spot. Again Wilkinson beaten, referee getting in the way. Oh, that's excellent, Morris. Hendry drives on in low, it takes a deflection, it's there! Whether it was Craig Hignett or whether the deflection came off one of the County players, or it looks as though Paul Wilkinson is claiming it. Wilkinson goes towards the crowd, but the end result, Middlesbrough leading by 2-0. That was excellent work between Morris and Hendry. Hesitation in the defence, the ball over the top of a couple of outstretched legs and into the back of the net. Ball tripped over by Hendry, it's there! Oh, that was superb! The ball chipped in, Hendry, goalkeeper off the line. Middlesbrough 3, Derby County 0.
Well, Lenny, you said quite plainly yesterday that Derby County would be an acid test and you'd find out how good you are. After that little show, how good are you?
Well, today we were very good. We were by far the better team in all departments, from the start to the finish, really. In the second half, in the first half, the only thing that concerned me was that after half an hour it was only 1, but fortunately we got the second before half time. It's a thoroughly professional performance. It was commitment and the physical side of it and the work rate was right, and we played some terrific football as well. Now, Derby have got a lot of experienced players in this league, a lot of money's been spent there, so they're everybody's favourites, so that can only be a good sign for us at this present time, but we're not getting carried away. Barnsley away Tuesday, tough game, and we'll be in the right frame of mind for it.
2 wins out of 2 made it a perfect start, and Borough continued to set the pace at the top of the table in the midweek encounter at Barnsley, despite an early breakthrough by the home side. Anderson the scorer after just 10 minutes. Borough's equaliser came on the stroke of half-time when young Alan Moore made it 1-1. Early in the second half, the talented teenager added his second to put Borough ahead. Then came a double from John Hendry that wrapped up the points in the dying minutes. First after 82 minutes. Then 3 minutes later, Hendry completed the scoring. This time Moore supplied the cross and Hendry turned home a flying header. Borough were firing on all cylinders. New sensation Alan Moore had landed 4 goals in 3 starts, and Borough arrived at Molineux in confident mood. An early breakthrough set up a riveting contest. Just 3 minutes were on the clock when John Hendry claimed his 4th goal of the season. Borough fans were still celebrating when Steve Bull set up David Kelly for Wolves' swift equaliser. The match was still only 9 minutes old when a mistake let in Jeff Thomas to put the home side ahead. "2-1 was how it remained until the 83rd minute, and then came a brilliant late fight back by Borough. Henry made it all square with his 5th goal in 3 matches, his 2nd goal of the afternoon. Then 5 minutes from time came the winner from Jamie Pollock. A superb long-range effort, bringing an exciting contest to a dramatic end. Jamie Pollock's late winner meant Borough had completed their best start to a league campaign for 68 years. In the Anglo-Italian Cup, the trip to Grimsby Town finally marked the end of Borough's winning start to the season. With 34 minutes gone, Clive Mendonca opened the scoring. Borough weren't behind for long. Their equaliser came early in the second half when John Henry made it all square at 1 goal apiece. But this time Borough's fight back was not to end in victory. Instead, it was the home side who stole the winner late in the game. Tony Dawes wrapped up victory for Grimsby with a deciding goal 9 minutes from time. At least Borough's first defeat of the season had done nothing to damage their flying start in the league. At the end of August, Borough were the only team in the First Division with a 100% record, ahead of Charlton on goals scored and with a game in hand. Meanwhile, in the Anglo-Italian Cup, the next game was at home to Barnsley. John Henry sent Borough on the way to victory with the opening goal midway through the first half. After the break came a double from Paul Wilkinson, who landed his first goal in the 51st minute. Five minutes later, Wilkinson wrapped up a comfortable 3-0 win from the penalty spot after a foul on Hignett. It was a win that eventually proved decisive in earning qualification for the international stage of the competition. Meanwhile, back in the league, Borough were in for a disappointing decline. The first crack appeared at Roots Hall, where Ricky Otto stole a fortunate winner for the home side in the 85th minute. Barry Fry's Southend had condemned Borough to their first league defeat of the season, allowing Charlton to move 2 points clear at the top of the table. At home to newly promoted Stoke came the chance to go back to the top of the table, but it was not a night to take anything for granted against Lou Macari's second division champions. In fact, Stoke made Borough suffer in wretched conditions, and Steve Pears was left stranded 3 minutes before half-time when Carruthers cashed in to give the home side the lead, a lead they extended 7 minutes from time.
Borough must try and find an equaliser somehow. That's easily cut out, and it will fall to Dave Regis, who in turn finds Orlickson. Stoke very dangerous on the break. Orlickson moving forward well, finds Bannister. Dangerous moments for Borough, and it's 2. 85 minutes gone, and Stoke City, I think, have wrapped up 3 points. Borough, can they find a consolation goal here? I think it's going to be Craig Hignett. He's shaping up. Lovely goal, excellent free kick from Craig Hignett, and Borough maybe can salvage something from this game.
Craig Hignett's first goal of the season in the dying seconds came much too late for Borough to salvage a point. Skipper Alan Kernaghan, meanwhile, had played his final game for Borough. After weeks of speculation, Lenny Lawrence had finally lost his tug-of-war with Manchester City. An improved £1.2 million bid by the Premier League club had proved successful. There was more frustration against rock-bottom Luton Town. The Hatters held Borough to a goalless draw, making it 3 games without a win. After 2 defeats and 1 draw came the chance to get back on the right track against Brighton. The first leg of this Coca-Cola Cup second round tie provided a goals feast for the Ayresome Park faithful.
Pollock helps it forward. Now this looks promising for Middlesbrough. Alan Moore. It's a measured cross too. Picks out Hignett. That's 1-0. Oh, very simple move, but a very effective one. Alan Moore was released down the inside left channel, And this superb cross picked out Craig Hignett on the back post, and his finish was exemplary. Middlesbrough lead by a goal to nil after a quarter of an hour. Mustoe. Neatly done by Middlesbrough. Wilkinson. Now Hignett is onside. He's already scored one and scores his second. Oh, that was a picture book goal by Middlesbrough as they sweep into a 2-0 lead. It was a tremendous ball by Wilkinson into the path of Hignett, who ghosted into the inside right channel and scores number 2. Hignett, the only player to score in Middlesbrough's last 3 games, now scores 3 in this game. And here he is again. Slips the ball to Henry. It's a chip to the back post. Moore. It's in again. Would you believe it? 4 for Hignett. It's the Craig Hignett show. Well, there was embarrassment of riches for Middlesbrough on the far post. First Moore, lovely touch there. Wilkinson couldn't stretch and reach the ball, but Hignett could. Mile. Kennedy unable to keep the ball in play. Here's Derek White. Hendry is onside. Here's Hendry. Oh, that's brilliant finishing by John Hendry. 5-0 now to Middlesbrough. It's their most emphatic win in this competition at home. His 8th goal of the season, and his determination to succeed here was exemplary.
A commanding performance by Borough brought a decisive end to a run of 3 matches without a win, and no doubt about who the man of the match was.
Well, Craig, many congratulations on not only a hat-trick but 4 goals, and I understand that's not the first time you've hit 4 in one game.
No, it's not. The game before I came to Middlesbrough, I was lucky enough to score 4 in an FA Cup tie against Wrexham. So, you know, I'm very pleased to score 4 again tonight.
You were likely to score every time you got the ball.
Yeah, I felt like that. You have spells in matches, you know, where you feel as though you're going to score. And the first half tonight, I felt like if the ball was over the top, I was going to score every time.
Now, it hasn't been an easy time for this club in the last 3 matches, and you've lost an outstanding player in Alan Kernahan. What exactly has gone right in the last 90 minutes or so?
I wouldn't say anything's gone right. You know, we've had a sticky week with Alan going and things that have gone on behind the scenes. But, I mean, we've played well tonight and we've scored 4 goals. And at the start of the season, if you ask the fans, they'll say we were playing brilliant anyway. So we'll just put that 3 games as a bad patch and get on with the rest of the season.
Hignett's 4-goal strike against Brighton had helped Borough notch their biggest win of the season. But in the league, there was further frustration, despite an opening goal by Derek White at the start of the second half. Borough were denied their first success in 4 matches when West Brom equalised. Bob Taylor's 4th goal of the season came just 2 minutes later. A disappointing run of 4 league matches without a win had yielded just 2 points out of a possible 12. That meant Borough were down to 5th place, 2 points behind Leicester in the top 3.
White chips the ball over. Moore to Hendry, controls, tries to flick it across, looking for Wilkinson. The head from Wilkinson, but it's saved by Ward. The keeper came, decided after about 3 or 4 yards to stop and go back. And Wilkinson's header lacked the power needed to send it past Ward. Ball chip forward, Hendry controls to Wilkinson, chance for Wilkinson! Middlesbrough leading a goal to nil. Hendry controlled the long ball forward, just skipped it inside to Paul Wilkinson, and Wilkinson, with Ward standing rooted to the spot, fired low into the corner. Middlesbrough 1, Leicester City 0. Ball out to Warmondroyd. Leicester City coming back into this game, but not if Warmondroyd keeps playing like that. Pollock along the floor to Wilkinson. First time layoff. Hignett to release Hendry, and Hendry can run a goal. He does have the yards. John Hendry fires the ball in. Middlesbrough 2-0 into the lead. sitting on the floor waiting for congratulations, but I think he's hurt himself in the process. The Middlesbrough players celebrate, the fans celebrate. John Hendry's going to need some treatment, but the ball laid through started with Paul Wilkinson playing a short ball back to Hignett. Over the top the ball came. Hendry ran through, fired a low shot past Gavin Ward. Middlesbrough leading 2-0.
Paul, a useful 3 points. Is that the way the players are looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a big game for us tonight. We hadn't won for 3 or 4 games, even though we've got a couple of draws. But we're just glad to get a result. The main thing is that we're back on top of the league and we're looking forward again.
How important are those two things? First of all, being back on top of the league and winning again.
Well, the most important thing to be back on top of the league will be in the last week in May. But we've got to make sure that we keep going now. It's a long, hard season. We've got a lot of games, and we've had a lot of games just lately. So it was a good performance tonight.
In the meantime, Borough's win against Leicester took them back to the top of the tree. A superior goals tally meant Lenny Lawrence's men have reclaimed pole position from Tranmere Rovers. Just 1 point now separated the top 5. The month of October began with a home encounter with Birmingham City, and Borough got off to a flying start.
Andy Saville back defending, former Hartlepool player. Musto. Bowen through to Hendry, chance for Hendry to shoot from range, deflection. Middlesbrough take the lead on 11.5 minutes. The through ball to Hendry. Hendry under pressure from 2 players, but he still managed to find enough space to fire a low right foot shot, which did take a deflection. And Kevin Miller could only watch agonisingly as the ball trickled past and into the back of the net. Hignett and Pollock combining well. Pollock's ball away only as far as Chris White as Birmingham City come forward yet again. Ball played through to chance for Pesci Salida, and it's the equaliser for Birmingham City. It's Birmingham City, the brighter of the 2 sides at the moment. Scott Hiley, ball driven in by Hiley to Saville to Pesci Salida. It's saved, but it's then he's followed in. Paul Pesci Salida, Canadian international, and he's delighted. No use going a goal ahead and just hoping that that'll do. Wilkinson's flick, Hendry's control, chance for the little Scot to work a bit of magic, flicks the ball in, comes to Alan Moore, and he's equalised. Middlesbrough.
Moore's late equaliser spared Borough their second home defeat of the season, but 2 lost points meant a fall from 1st to 4th.
At the end of the day, we didn't impose ourselves after the game. After 10 minutes going 1 up, you'd think it would be time to really storm forward, but we played at a sloppy exhibition match type of pace, and it was no surprise when Birmingham got back in it, really. They looked dangerous on the break. We were lucky that we were only 2-1 down, and to be fair, we rallied a little bit and snatched an equaliser, but it was as unprofessional a performance today as it was professional on Wednesday.
In the Coca-Cola Cup, Borough travelled to the Goldstone ground with a second round tie already under wraps. 5-0 up from the first leg, all that remained to be settled was a margin of victory. It turned out to be another stroll. Paul Wilkinson opened the scoring on the night after 26 minutes. 10 minutes later it was 2-0, Craig Hignett set up by John Hendry. After the break, Hendry helped himself to goal number 3, a fine strike that made it 8-0 on aggregate. Nogan finally landed Brighton's consolation in the 76th minute to make it 3-1 at the Goldstone. Borough had stretched their unbeaten run to 6 matches.
It'll be interesting to see if Lenny Lawrence has got it right with his tactical talk at half-time. I think even more important whether Glenn Roeder can instill a bit more ambition into the home side Watford.
Yes, I think Glenn will have had the more intense half-time talk. I think there was more wrong, with Watford than there was with Middlesbrough in that first half.
Morris and Stamp. And Stamp gets it into that area. Hendry brings it down, swivels, the shot's coming in, and a flying stop, and already more excitement in 30 seconds of the second half than in 45 minutes in the first half. One for Hendry to chase again at the edge of the area, but Watford getting bodies around and hitting the long and hopeful ball. And here's Furlong, surely now, Paul Furlong Would you believe it? He looked a certain scorer there. Here come Watford. Might get rebound, and Dyer, and Furlong's through the middle again. He spurred one chance, he's not spurred this one! Furlong gets his reward, having hit the upright earlier with an even better chance. This time, he makes no mistake. A smashing goal on 73 minutes from Furlong, and here's an equaliser, maybe, no! Hignett off the upright, and Middlesbrough could have been back all square within 60 seconds. Wilkinson signalling he wants it round about the penalty spot. Stamp underneath it. Watford able to bring themselves away. Dyer against Morris. And Bruce Dyer is trying to get past Morris. He has done. Can he get past the keeper as well? 2-0. That's it now. Bruce Dyer. The points are in the bag for Watford and their fans.
Borough had missed their chance to move back into the top two, and 48 hours later came the further distraction of a midweek trip to Pisa. Whatever the merits of the Anglo-Italian Cup, many Borough fans clearly saw it as an opportunity not to be missed. The beauty of this famous city on the Italian west coast is certainly impressive. Plenty of opportunities for the happy snapper, but not so many opportunities on the pitch, despite an opening goal by Robbie Mustoe. Borough's Italian adventure ended in a disappointing 3-1 defeat. Nonetheless, the fans had enjoyed their midweek expedition.
Okay, the result's gone, but I mean, let's say the only bonus was, I mean, let's say we'd never had anyone sent off because, I mean, and indeed in injuries, because it could easily have been like that.
Tell me about conditions out there. Were the little niggling fouls that you couldn't see from the touchline?
Very much so. I mean, let's say the old, Italian tricks of the shirt pulling. I mean, late sort of clickings of your heels, and, elbows and what have you. But I mean, it was just one of those things. I mean, that we had to accept and get on with. All credit to lads. I mean, they did do that.
Quick word about the fans, because a few people surprised by the amount of Middlesbrough fans who made it across here.
That's right. I mean, we sort of come into the town today and we've seen them all, and it was nice to see so many. And they've done brilliant, actually.
Any feelings of depression were shrugged aside in the best possible manner against rival Sunderland.
Mustoe. Hignett now, a bit of a clear run here. Hignett might want to have a go himself. Hignett! And it's a goal for Middlesbrough! Craig Hignett! A fine solo effort there, and Borough ahead, 7 minutes gone.
Well, it all started from a crossfield ball where Hignett challenged with Richard Ord, knocked Ord over, and then Hignett is so dangerous running in the box there, turns Andy Melville, hits the ball with his left foot. And Alex Chamberlain might just be, there's the challenge, was it a foul, was it not? I don't think it was a foul. Hignett's now got a free run on goal, takes it on the inside of Andy Melville, and with his weaker foot, strikes it under the hand of Alex Chamberlain.
Ball used to operating at right back, normally seen in the heart of the defence, and that's Howie the target. Howie with a little knock on, and Goodman! A superb strike from Tom Goodman, and that's the equaliser for Sunderland. Goodman again pulls out a cracker. Melville going to get something rather more straightforward, but Goodman got there. Now Mustoe, and that's fallen well for Hendry, who let the ball do the running, and here goes John Hendry. Hendry, 2-1. John Hendry yet again. You can't give him a chance like that.
Well, tremendous finish from John Hendry, but the Sunderland defence, and Terry Butcher was off the bench there. He couldn't believe what his central two had done. Andy Melville stepped up and Bennett stayed in, and it played John Hendry onside. Bennett tried a desperate tackle, but there's Hendry, confident finishing 1 against 1. It's Bennett that's played him onside. Bennett then tries to tackle him. He has a little stumble there, but he manages to regain his balance, look up, and with power drives it past Alex Chamberlain.
But these two defences have really got to get a grip here, because they're being punctured through the middle far too regularly for either manager's liking. And again, threaded through the middle, and again it's Hendry, and it's Wilkinson, and that's 3, and Wilkinson punishes Sunderland down.
Well, to be fair to Sunderland there, they were probably a little bit unfortunate there that the bounce went to Wilkinson. They were opened up in the first place, and there was a lovely through ball there, and onto it's Hendry there. They managed to get a block on it, but there it just bounces so kindly for Paul Wilkinson. He goes, thank you very much indeed. I'll side foot those in all day. Good tackle by Atkinson, and there it drops to Wilkinson, and Alec Chamberlain, no hope at all there.
Now Wilkinson jumping and finding Hignett. Forward now for Hendry, who's come out wide. Can he get the cross in as well? Looking for Wilkinson! Another classic Paul Wilkinson goal. Hendry, Wilkinson, the double act again, and it's 4-1 now for Middlesbrough.
That's a great Paul Wilkinson goal, and full credit again to John Hendry. The two of them celebrated there, and quite rightly. Good play out on that right-hand side by John Hendry. Turns his marker, looks up with his left foot, peels it to the back post, and Wilkinson, nearly at full stretch, has to throw himself. There we go, lovely ball in with his left foot. Wilkinson totally unmarked at the far post.
There's nothing like a taste of derby delight to put a smile on the face of any fan. Borough's stunning demolition of their rivals from Roker Park was a perfect tonic. Borough arrived at the new Den 5 points behind leaders Charlton, but with the game in hand.
Well, he had to do that. Hendry was lurking, so Van den Houw decided the only safe place for the ball was up in the stands. And Middlesbrough have their first corner.
I see all these as real danger, John, because they've got several players who are outstandingly big and very, very good in the air, and good movement here. Millwall will have to be at their best.
Yes, Mohan and White both go up for corners. Morris is arriving now as well, and it's a firm header from Wilkinson. Flying save from Keller. What a magnificent, superb reflex save that is from the American Keller. Hignett looks to take advantage now. Another ball in, and a stooping clearance from Stevens. He'd lost his footing actually, so he was a little lucky. And now it breaks for Hignett, and Middlesbrough trying to profit from these breaks. He's done it again. Fabulous stuff from Casey Keller. Wilkinson seemed a certain scorer. He was 3 yards out, and Keller had to make his third fantastic stop already in this game. Chipped instinctively out to Barber. 3 men up around the edge of the area, floated in towards Kennedy. The chance must be here for Ray's there, and it's Kennedy. Alex Ray poked it into the middle, but I'm sure Kennedy got the final touch. It's another Borough throw. This one's taken more promptly. Hignett, Millwall just caught sleeping for a moment. Hignett can get a good ball in for Borough here, and Hendry to no goal. Could well go down as the second own goal of the match. It was John Hendry who got the shot in on goal, but the ball flew into Millwall's net off Phil Barber. No doubt about that one.
Now, that all come off the throw-in, as you rightly said, John. Very simple throw-in, and I felt Millwall just weren't geared up on that one at all.
An 89th minute red card for Derek White was too late to hurt Borough. In the third round of the Coca-Cola Cup, Borough had been paired with Sheffield Wednesday.
Here comes Hendry, and he's made the break. He's got goal side of the defender. John Hendry, brilliantly polished off. Wednesday caught cold. Hendry celebrates. He may have hurt himself in the process, but he'll have a big grin all over his face. And that's why. Here's Wilkinson again. Nudged back for Hignett. He loses out, and Waddle will hit it first time. Tremendous ball from Waddle. It might have opened the door for Carlton Palmer. Yes!
Carlton Palmer's stunning late equaliser left Borough ruining their missed chances against Wednesday's 10 men. There was further frustration 3 days later at home to struggling Peterborough when Ayresome Park was silenced by an early blow. Dominic Iorfa gave the Posh a 10th minute lead. Borough were well below par, but they did come back midway through the first half when Robbie Mustoe made it all square. The damage repaired, Borough were odds on to complete the fight back, but surprisingly, that was how it ended. Peterborough held on for their first away point, and Lenny Lawrence's men had lost ground on pacesetters Charlton. Now back in 5th place, Borough were 6 points behind the leaders. It was a sign of much worse to follow. A further 8 matches came without a win for Borough, and 6 of those matches ended in defeat, including this one at Fratton Park, where John Durning completed a 2-0 win for Portsmouth. But there was no disgrace in a battling display in the Coca-Cola Cup replay against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough.
It's a good ball through there. Scored for Wednesday by Gordon Watson. And just when it looked as though Borough had seen off the early pressure, they're punished. Oh, Fleming looking for Kavanagh, a chance here for Kavanagh, great save Pressman, and it's a goal for Borough, the equaliser. Mustoe. Well, they've come back and Robbie Mustoe has equalised in sensational style. Kavanagh had the first opportunity, Pressman beat it away, and Mustoe got a foot to it. It came off Andy Pearce as well. I'm sure Mustoe will claim that one. The marking was all over the shop. Kavanagh's effort beaten away. Mustoe, a touch there off the defender Pearce. Sinton delivering again. Palmer. Goal! Carlton Palmer. Well, the game perhaps deserved a goal like that, but Palmer, the man who earned the replay, pulls out a stunning strike, and that is cruel, cruel indeed for Middlesbrough. Sinton delivering the ball, who else? And Palmer, what a first-time shot!
The depression continued as Borough failed to score in the next 4 matches. A 1-0 home defeat by Bolton came in between 2 fruitless Anglo-Italian Cup ties against Ancona and Ascoli.
He's quite a bit away from getting fit. McAteer's cross, McGinley's partner scores a goal, and he's broken the ice on a frosty Ayrton Park, and he'll feel a little warmer now.
That defeat meant Borough ended November back in 13th place. 2 months after topping the table, promotion hopes had taken a nosedive. A goalless draw at Bristol City came next, and worse was to follow. When Borough finally ended their goal drought at the Victoria Ground, Andy Peake's 70th minute strike was no more than a consolation. Stoke City still ended up 3-1 winners, and that made it 11 matches without a victory. Borough, top of the table at the end of September, they slipped back into 15th position in the Ensley League. But the gloom finally lifted in the last league match before Christmas.
6.5 minutes gone, the first corner of the game. Gannon to take it left-footed, going to curl away from Cherry in goal. The ball headed on by Wilkinson. Middlesbrough take the lead. It was so simple. The ball crossed over by Gannon, curling away from Cherry. Wilkinson with a header down over. And it's young Alan Moore stooped very low indeed from only a couple of yards out to head the ball underneath Cherry and into the back of the net. To Kavanagh, turns, fires the ball in, the first goal of the season for Kavanagh, and that all stemmed from Alan Moore's run on the far side. Received the ball in his own half, turned Crooks and outpaced him, then picked his cross to Kavanagh, whose first touch was to control, spun round and fired the shot past Cherry, unstoppable. Middlesbrough 2, Notts County 0. Full clearance by Cherry. Peake plays the ball through. Kavanagh's onside, looking to drive it from distance. And Kavanagh makes no mistake whatsoever from the edge of the penalty area. It was a poor clearance by Steve Cherry. 38 minutes of this first half gone. It fell to Kavanagh, the ball played through by Andy Peake, who had scored from distance. For a moment I thought Peake may decide to have a go himself, but Kavanagh got the ball under control, aimed his sights at the far side and fired it past Cherry. Middlesbrough 3, Notts County 0.
It's the youngsters that seem to be doing it, because what is it now, 12 games without a win, and you pop up, Alan Moore gets the first, he sets your second one up, and you also knock the third one.
That's right, it just seems to be happening that way at the moment. There's nothing there's no finger can be pointed to it, you know. It just seems to be us who are scoring. It's just as well, really. But I mean, I'm sure Wilco is going to notch a few, and Robbie Mustoe will. So we'll see how it goes.
You've been working hard up front with nothing at the end of it. Today you grabbed 2.
That's right. The Gabber seems to think now that I'm a centre forward, I don't really mind as long as I'm playing. I scored today, so I'm very, very happy with that.
It's pleasing to see that the 2 youngsters have scored the goals, but it was a solid team performance. To be fair, Notts County weren't the best opposition we faced all the year, but we've lost to worse teams and beaten better teams. So at least it's a big step in the right direction, and hopefully, you know, that'll get their confidence back a bit.
There was further cause to celebrate 4 days later, when Borough unveiled their plans to move to a new home of outstanding potential. They aim to make Middlesbrough the Wembley of the North. Without doubt, Borough's impressive blueprint confirmed the club's confident vision of the future. A super stadium costing £16 million and with the potential for a capacity of 42,000 seats. This the result of the club's close collaboration with Teesside Development Corporation and Middlesbrough Borough Council.
You were a member of the consortium that brought the club back from the dead in '86. It must be very pleasing for you to see such ambition these days.
Sure, we've come a long way. In 1986, the club had huge debts. We, the shareholders, and the club had to pay off over £2.5 million of debt to then go on and to announce within 7 years, a £16 million development shows the ambition that we have for Middlesbrough Football Club.
Borough's historic announcement was made on the morning of the Anglo-Italian Cup tie against Brescia, but sadly it failed to inspire Borough to victory. Borough, already out of the running for a place in the semi-finals, were beaten by the night's only goal when Gabriele Ambrosetti scored a 49th minute winner for the Italians. The same player went on to score Brescia's winner in the final against Notts County at Wembley. Borough celebrated the Christmas and New Year holiday period with 3 straight draws, beginning at Nottingham Forest with a 1-1 scoreline, courtesy of a splendid goal from Alan Moore. Borough's final match in 1993 was at home to promotion rivals Tranmere Rovers, but there were no goals to celebrate the end of the year, only a hard-fought point. At the season's halfway mark, Borough were in 14th position, 15 points behind leaders Crystal Palace and a long way short of their early season expectations. The goalless home draw with promotion rivals Tranmere was followed by a 1-1 draw at the Manor Ground. This time Jamie Pollock was the Borough goal scorer. After 4 matches without a win, Borough finally got back on the right track at home to Grimsby Town.
Middlesbrough have wasted their previous 3. Can this be a better one? It is a better one! Oh, Middlesbrough have finally succeeded in putting a good corner across the face of goal. Driven in by Jamie Pollock and Paul Wilkinson unmarked from only a couple of yards out.
Grimsby had offered stubborn resistance, but Borough were good value for their first win of 1994. Wilkinson's first goal in nearly 3 months. In round 3 of the FA Cup, Borough had landed an away trip to 2nd Division Cardiff.
Moore down to Wilkinson. Nice ball, chance for Moore here. This could be the first goal. Great save. Wilkinson, there it is. Paul Wilkinson reaches double figures for the season. Goal number 10. 1,000 or so Middlesbrough supporters obviously delighted. Andy Moore had the first chance. Great save by Mark Grew. The ball though falling so invitingly for Wilkinson. 1-0 to Middlesbrough. Grew made the save. Wilkinson on hand. Cardiff behind. Perry's free kick. Flicked on. Chance for Nathan Blake. Good clearance there by Vickers. And again by Vickers. They look pretty solid at the back, apart from the occasional panic. But here's a chance for Phil Stant. Flicked on by Hazelwood. Stant, he scored! The equaliser for Cardiff City. And how they've deserved it. Eddie May. You wouldn't have thought they've just scored. Turning neatly inside, and again. Stamped through. Not offside. This is Pollock. There's Wilkinson in the middle. Saved. Oh no! A goal for Middlesbrough just 8 minutes from the end. The goal scorer is Moore, and the Middlesbrough supporters have gone wild behind the goal. Poor old Mark Grew. It was the ball through. They were looking for the offside flag. It didn't come. Jamie Pollock kept his head, put the ball across. Grew got a hand to it. Moore got the final finish. Flicked on by Blake. And here's Thompson. Great goal by Thompson. Yes! 4 minutes from the end, and Gary Thompson has equalised for Cardiff City. And look at the delight on those players. The supporters are delirious.
Borough had let the Minnows off the hook, and they paid the penalty in the replay at Ayresome Park. First came the disappointment of defeat at Roker Park. Steve Vickers got Borough on the score sheet in the 75th minute, but Sunderland were already leading, and they held on to claim a 2-1 victory. In the FA Cup decider with Cardiff, Graham Kavanagh gave Borough a second chance with a 90th minute equaliser that took the replay into extra time.
Straight at Perry, and that's the equaliser. Yes, it's in from Kavanagh. Would you believe it? 44 minutes and 55 seconds on the watch. This is Gary Thompson. Richardson down towards Blake, and Nathan Blake has scored. Nathan Blake has put Cardiff City into the lead for the second time. You have to feel for goalkeeper Stephen Pears.
After successive defeats against Sunderland and Cardiff, Borough stopped the rot against Watford when Alan Moore opened the scoring after 29 minutes. Moore's strike was his 9th goal of the season, but it wasn't enough to give Borough victory. Watford hit back to snatch a point with an equaliser 7 minutes after half-time from Paul Furlong. Failure to beat Watford left Borough back in 17th position, 15 points behind leaders Crystal Palace. Borough badly needed a good win to revitalise the season, and it came in a Sunday showdown with high-flying Millwall.
Funny enough, men in the wall, and Wilkinson joining in as well. Peak, Hignett, Moore, all there to have a go. Hignett tries it. Great goal, Craig Hignett. You won't get a much better finish than that, and maybe they were looking for the one over the wall, and Hignett squeezed it in. They're out of their seats at Ayresome Park. Borough have got the lead.
I quite fancied it, Roger. I thought that there was a space behind the wall on that end, and the goalkeeper was over the other side of the goal, and I thought that if Hignett struck it in that area, the goalkeeper would have his work cut out to get across there.
Stevens, the Millwall skipper. Now Verveer through the middle here. Oh, looks like they're going to get the penalty for that one. Peak. Penalty to Millwall. Verveer through the middle. Peak's challenge. So Alex Ray against Steve Pears. And it's a goal, the equaliser. It's a very sharp decision to make. This right came across at some length. And now Verveer, who did earn a penalty, looking to cause a problem. And that's a great goal there from Morley. And Millwall have turned it right around in the 5 minutes before half-time. Good strike. through the middle. Casey Keller. Now was that handball? It's a goal, is it, from Hignett? Oh, the debates may go on, but Hignett didn't waste any time, and that's the encouragement, and that's the goal that Borough were looking for.
Good goal, good ball in. I said in the first half about balls played into the box. A little bit of hesitation there. Goalkeeper had to make a decision. Alan Moore battling well. Craig Hignett decides to tuck it in the net and argue about whether it's going to be allowed or not afterwards, and that's the sensible thing to do. But that is just the boost that Middlesbrough need. There's been a lot of meaty tackles, plenty of determination from both teams. It's been a battling game. Millwall third in the league, so they've everything to play for. They could move second if they win, and of course Middlesbrough, if they could gain a victory here, it could set them on a good run.
And there's a goal there, and it's Vickers from the free kick again. Vickers comes in at the far post, and Borough have got the lead again.
Good ball whipped in from Hignett towards that far post area, into the space, and Vickers just getting inside the defender there, placing a good header inside the post.
It was nearly Jamie Morley who was ruthless then. It's turned into a bit of space for Mustoe. He's going to hit it. Keller's behind it again. It's another one. Wilkinson following in like all good strikers do and getting his reward, and Borough have won this one. The smile says it all.
Good work from Tommy Wright, playing a super little ball inside to Mustoe. Mustoe allowing it to run across his body. He's only thinking of hitting the target. Good, strong, powerful shot. In fairness, you would expect the goalkeeper to hold those. It's just slipped from his grasp, and there was Paul Wilkinson reacting very, very quickly.
Ironically, Ayresome Park's lowest skater of the season had witnessed the best display so far. 2-goal Craig Hignett had played the leading role in taking the heat off under pressure boss Lenny Lawrence. A disappointing defeat at rock bottom Peterborough gave Borough a frustrating knockback. Borough lost 1-0 to a goal from Ken Charlery. But then came a great result at promotion chasing Derby County.
Is it going to be right? No, he's left it for Vickers. And what a screamer! Taylor, be very disappointed with that.
Borough were still in the bottom half of the table, but they were showing signs of moving in the right direction, and the month of March was to see a steady improvement. At home to Wolves, John Hendry was making his first appearance at Ayresome Park in 3.5 months. Hendry was back after finally shrugging off an ankle injury.
Wilkinson holding the ball up. Peake was helping. For the first time in the game, Tommy Wright is found intentionally. His chip forward is flicked onto Wilkinson. A chance right at the deck, and Wilkinson has fired Middlesbrough into the lead with only 3 minutes remaining. It was Tommy Wright who received the ball the first time he'd been found by his own player since coming on with 15 minutes to go.
Paul Wilkinson's winner made it 3 wins out of 4 for Borough's revitalised side. They'd left it late, but Borough had taken full advantage against a Wolves team distracted by their midweek FA Cup win at Ipswich Town.
You're going into the big time now for the season, aren't you? This is the time that decides things. 2 very difficult away games coming up.
Yeah, I think that out of the next 3 or 4 weeks we have 5 away games out of 7, so it's going to be very important with winning probably at least 3 of those. And you know, we've got a hard game at Luton Tuesday night, then we're away at Leicester next Saturday, which is a big 6-pointer for us, and it's important that we go there with confidence.
Do you think the lads think that if you get through these 2 games with 1, 2 few points, the confidence will be flying high after that?
Yeah, I think right. You know, we've had back-to-back wins now, which is very important. We haven't done that for a while, and you know, if we can get another win, maybe Tuesday night, and then we go to Leicester with a lot of confidence, and we'll be looking to get a result there as well.
Next came a trip to Kenilworth Road, where Borough took the lead 90 seconds after half-time. John Hendry opened up the Luton defence, and Robbie Mustoe broke the deadlock. It looked like Borough were heading for a priceless away win, but the Hatters were let off the hook 6 minutes from time when Andy Peake conceded the penalty. It It was the chance Luton needed to get out of trouble, and John Dreyer converted the spot kick to make the final score 1 goal apiece. The draw at Luton was followed by a 2-0 defeat at Leicester.
And Joachim is clear, and Joachim has scored! Fabulous run from Julian Joachim. Moen, bit of trouble here, he must be careful. And Joachim has dispossessed him. Dangerous moments here. Finds Speedy. It's there! 2-0. And bad defending from Borough.
That left Borough badly needing a win at home to Southend United.
Moore trying to come forward, dispossessed by Derek Payne, but regains the ball, just puts it a little bit far too forward. Does well though, works it to Hendry. Hendry's cross comes in, Wilkinson! And Middlesbrough's opening goal in the game against Southend. They were really caught out, the ball played by Moore outside of Hendry, and caught out when the ball was played really in between the two defenders. And Wilkinson sneak in at the far post and just converted the ball past Sanson.
Well, a little bit of ground made up after that game, and of course West Brom at home on Saturday, and then 3 away games. What would you be looking for in terms of points from the next 4 games?
Got to win the home game. You know, the people are gradually coming round, you know, on Teesside, and we've got to win. And obviously we need to win one. Now, if we got 50 points on Saturday night, then that's not bad. It's a long way off, and we'll be, I don't know where we'll be, 10th or 11th, something like that, and we'll be perhaps closer to the pack than we were before. But that's only a couple of steps forward. Now, if we can win Saturday, then we've got 3 away games. We'll have to win one, and we'll have to draw one, minimum. And that'll keep us probably around that 9th, 10th, 11th spot. And then we've got a programme, I think it's 6 out the last 8 or 5 out the last 8 at home, including in April, including a run of 3 consecutive home games. Now, all but one of them, I would say, has got to be won. Then all things are possible.
The optimistic mood continued in the home match with the West Brom side, boosted by a 3-0 midweek thrashing of Notts County.
Hendry. Good running again. Wilkinson. It's a goal. Alan Moore. Officials looking at each other, but that's the lead for Middlesbrough. The fans celebrating, 17 minutes gone. There was some confusion over the decision. Alan Moore going all the way. Wilkinson, Moore carried on, popped it in. 10 minutes left in the half. It's been all Middlesbrough, but they've just got 1 goal to show for it. Peak stretching. Peak for Wilkinson. Pollock, he's got another chance. Can he do it this time? No mistake. Jamie Pollock takes the chance, and it's 2-0 the Borough. Not one to look a gift horse in the mouth for the second time. And Jamie Pollock striding through the middle there. Kept his cool, Naylor came out, and that's a goal for Pollock. Jamie Pollock absolutely ecstatic about that one, his 3rd of the season, and it puts Borough really in charge of this one. Hendry now. Hendry away, robbing Paul Marden. Wilkinson sprinting through the middle. Couldn't quite get the ball round the defence with Donovan covering and set Wilkinson in with a direct attempt at goal. But Hendry breaking dangerously all the same. Pollock now. Pollock getting round his men. Still going, Pollock head down, ploughing on. Hendry can turn here, and has done. And Burgess quite happy to play the ball into the Holgate end. So dangerous, John Hendry, in those close positions when the man seemingly has him well marked. He can turn round and leave him and cause serious trouble. Corner kick to the Borough though. Alan Moore to take it. The tall men have gone forward. Wilkinson again getting underneath it. Hendry, what a goal! John Hendry the overhead kick, and Hendry is really back. Special applause for John Hendry, who missed so much of the season after his breathtaking form at the beginning.
Hendry wrapped up a super win, but the man of the match was Jamie Pollock, who celebrated another outstanding display with his first ever league goal at Ayresome Park. The senior side's return to winning form was not the only cause for celebration at Ayresome Park. The youngsters had earned a place in the semi-final of the FA Youth Cup, and the stage was set for a two-legged showdown with Millwall. That final equaliser meant an exciting contest ended 2-2, but Borough went out in the second leg at the New Den, where Millwall won 3-1. Meanwhile, Millwall's neighbours Crystal Palace were the next opponents for the senior squad. Borough began the night 15 points behind the First Division leaders.
Andy Peake. And the small contingent of Middlesbrough fans finding their voice. That's hanging in the wind. Eric Young, not a good clearance. Hit well and deflected in for a Middlesbrough goal. It's Craig Hignett giving Middlesbrough the lead on 11 minutes. Oh, the free kick not cleared very far. Eric Young's header falling at the feet of Craig Hignett. The shot took a deflection and gave Nigel Martin no chance, and as they've had to do so often at Selhurst Park this season, Crystal Palace now forced to come from a goal behind. Well, Nigel Martin, his goal kick just clearing Paul Wilkinson. Now, good run by Jamie Pollock. Pollock against Eric Young, hit well and just wide, a golden chance to make it 2. Middlesbrough players holding their heads in their hands, knowing that could be a vital miss by Jamie Pollock.
A stunning third win in a row made it a real night to savour against the First Division pace setters. Frustratingly, Borough's promotion bid was undermined by the start of a 4-match run without a win. The trip to St Andrews ended with a stunning blow when Saville gave Birmingham a last-minute winner, the home side's first win in 16 games. 3 days later came another away game, this time at Grimsby, where Jamie Pollock gave Borough the lead just before half-time. Steve Pears was Borough's star man with a string of fine saves, including a penalty stop that denied Clive Mendonca. But Grimsby did manage an equaliser 18 minutes from time. Groves earned the home side a point with a fine strike. With 9 matches left to play, Borough now had little hope of winning automatic promotion, but the prize of a place in the playoffs was clearly still very much within reach. Nottingham Forest arrived at Ayresome Park well on course for automatic promotion, but Borough pushed them all the way in a thrilling start to the Easter weekend.
What a tremendous game, non-stop action. Borough had John Hendry back, but he just couldn't make an early mark. But Forest was so deadly on the break. Jason Lee tested Steve Pears. Steve Stone's lightning follow-up needed Andy Peake at his sharpest. No wonder many experts feel second-place Forest are the league's real #1 team. Stone was looking for the clever goal, but Pears read it all the way. Inevitably, one of these classy counter-attacks paid off, approaching the half-hour, and Kingsley Black had the room to measure his cross. Lee's header too strong for even Pears. But this was one battle Middlesbrough would never quit, especially Jamie Pollock. Stoppage time in the first half and the rampaging midfielder was flat out again. Storming run, then forcing in the equaliser, and just can't keep him down for long. But once again, Forest made more of their chances. After 59 minutes, the Borough defence didn't get the ball clear, and Robert Rosario stabbed his team back in the lead. Lenny Lawrence's men had to dig deep a second time. Hendry was a constant threat, but when Pollock took over here, it was only inches away. But the Teessiders got the reward their spirit deserved. Alan Moore, an instinctive cross, a typical Paul Wilkinson header, but nothing was going to stop Pollock on this form, right on cue for 2-2. And still, Borough could have snatched all the points. Hendry was in the thick of it again, making Mark Crossley struggle. Moore couldn't convert, but the draw was still a tribute to the new style Pollock.
Normally I've been sitting back and I haven't been getting forward, but the boss has said he wants more goals from midfields and I've been given a licence to go further forward. So yeah, I mean, it was a different game. Obviously, I was just pleased to get the goals and obviously we got the draw. We've had a hard time this season. We've had a lot of ups and downs and we've had a lot of injuries, and the character at the club is absolutely fantastic. We've all stuck together through it. I mean, the team's been tremendous and a lot of character. We've come back from being behind twice.
Easter Monday was a real nightmare. Promotion-chasing Tranmere Rovers gave Borough a real thrashing, scoring twice in each half. Pat Nevin completed a 4-0 rout in the 74th minute. Borough finally ended their run without a win at home to Oxford United.
Tommy Wright. Fleming. Time ticking away. Last minute of the game. Wilkinson's header. Tommy Wright trying to get in a good position. Fires the ball in. Hendry with a chance. Alan Moore. And Middlesbrough in the lead in the last minute of the first half. It was a bit of a lottery in the 6-yard box. Hendry with a chance. Wilkinson with a chance. And it ended up coming off Moore and looping into the back of the net. Into the 4th minute of the second half. Oxford looking for an early equaliser in this half. The ball flicked on and a penalty has been awarded. So Paul Moody against Stephen Pears. The equaliser. Moody just hammered the ball into the back of the net. Pears really given no chance with the penalty. Thumped in by Moody. Really was struck viciously. Pollock. Wright has changed sides. Flicks it forward to Hendry. Turns well, John Hendry. Needs a good cross to the far post. Wilkinson! And Paul Wilkinson stoops low and celebrates the goal at the Holgate end. It was John Hendry. An excellent turn by Hendry. And the old partnership of Hendry and Wilkinson pays off once again for Middlesbrough.
Victory over Oxford meant Borough were now 5 points off the playoff places, with 6 matches remaining. The dream was still alive, but then came a shattering blow at home to Portsmouth. Jerry Creaney gave Portsmouth the lead after 20 minutes. Borough's misery was complete 10 minutes before half-time, when Powell wrapped up the points with a fine goal. That made the final score 2-0 to Portsmouth. The third home match in 10 days came against Charlton Athletic, another side like Borough who'd lost ground after a promising start to their early promotion challenge.
Middlesbrough coming forward. Stamp, first time ball in. Wilkinson, far side! Hits the bar! Moore! Middlesbrough in the lead. The ball was played in, clipped onto the crossbar, and young Alan Moore from close range gives Middlesbrough an early lead. Vickers, Moore, slays it back to Fleming. Wilkinson, deftest of touches, and Hendry's away for Middlesbrough, and a chance to make it 2, and Hendry makes it 2! And that was a breakthrough by Middlesbrough. The ball played through the centre. John Hendry, full of commitment and running. He ghosted past the defender, a little bit of a stumble, but he managed to keep his feet.
and he knew where that ball was going, destined for the corner.
That 3 points takes you over the magical 60-point mark, albeit a few days late.
Yes.
Where do you go from here?
We go to Bolton not thinking about playoffs, points totals, statistics or anything else. We're just thinking about going to Bolton and doing our best and then seeing where we are there.
Is the word playoffs banned in the dressing room?
Until the last day, it's banned, no mention of it, no discussion. We are just taking each game as it comes, to use that standard manager's cliche, which I never use, and we'll just see where we are on May the 8th.
Once again, Borough had raised expectations, only to have their hopes dashed in the very next match. The trip to Bolton Wanderers began brightly enough, and Paul Wilkinson gave Borough the lead. But then came a storming fight back by Bolton, led by John McGinley. The Scottish striker completed a 15-minute hat-trick that sent the home side on their way to a 4-1 win. Borough's form was now predictable, if not consistent. A defeat followed by a win was becoming the established sequence, and the home match against Barnsley was a win to savour.
Vickers to put one in the box. Not a very good clearance. Full to Pollock. It's an up and under, and that's Taggart, and that's an own goal. Middlesbrough take the lead. Jerry Taggart will not want to see this again. Lovely ball in from Pollock, and trying to clear his lines. He's given Barrow the lead. Here's Fleming. Maybe looking to get down that middle. And he finds Mustoe. Good ball. Lovely play from Robbie Mustoe. And there's Jamie Pollock, and that's 2-0. Where was the Barnsley defence? Nice ball in from Fleming. Good running from Mustoe. It's past his man with ease. And there's Pollock. That's 2-0. Mustoe finds Fleming. In turn finds Hendry. They're playing well here. Hendry looking for the cross. Poor clearance. He comes straight back to Fleming. He finds Hendry again. Good play from Middlesbrough. Flick on. Up they come. To Paul Wilkinson, and that's number 3. There was the Barnsley defence again. Lovely play from Borough. Patient build. Nice ball in from Hendry. Little flick from right. Another poor clearance. Finds its way across to Wilkinson, and that is number 3. Good move. Pears will clear. That's Hendry's ball. This must be number 4. Goes around Butler, and that's a penalty. No doubt about that. John Hendry dispossessing. Away he goes. Lee Butler, well, maybe a bit harsh. Paul Wilkinson shaping up for number 4. I think it's going to be Wilkinson. Referee's ready. And it's 4. Barnsley at 6 of the 7s, lovely penalty. Unstoppable. Here we come to Pollock. Looks like he's shaping up for a shot. And it's in! Lee Butler, what was he doing there? 5-0. Didn't seem to be too much in that shot. It looked pretty much straight at him from Pollock. What was he doing there? I'd like to see that again.
The chanting of Barnsley meant a place in the playoffs was still a faint mathematical possibility before the final home match of the season against champions-elect Crystal Palace.
Wilkinson, the flick through. Tommy Wright couldn't get onto it, but there's a Pollock header which brings Richard Lyburd into the Palace penalty area. Lyburd, and it's gone in! And Richard Lyburd claims his first ever goal. What a marvellous moment for the youngster. It's obviously taken a huge deflection there to beat Nigel Martin, but Richard Lyburd celebrates his first ever league goal.
Tremendous run from the left-back position there. He bursts into the box there, looks up, and I think it's Damien Matthew who'll see it hits. Damien Matthew tries to get the block on the shot there, and takes a deflection. Here we see it from behind the goal. Richard Lyburd has been willing to come down this left-hand side right from the start of this game, gets it out of his feet, looks up, and it's not actually, it's Eric Young. Eric Young actually takes the deflection off and totally wrong foots Nigel Martin, and Middlesbrough 1-up.
Where is David White? Oh, it's a good turn from him, and he'll have a free kick off Curtis Fleming for that. Curtis Fleming keeps hoping to get a call for the international 11 from Jack Charlton. He's from the Republic of Ireland. Headed in by Southgate. Matthews trying to get in behind Liebird, and Liebird will win more applause, I think, here from the fans. Oh, he's given away a free kick. So the goal scorer, and he's got the 1 goal so far, concedes this free kick for Palace. And you can guarantee that up will go Young and Coleman. They are so dangerous at these set pieces, these two centre-backs.
Crystal Palace spend a lot of time on set pieces and are very, very dangerous.
It is from Roger, and there's the flick from Southgate, and Gareth Southgate. We were talking about Young, we were talking about Coleman, but Gareth Southgate gets his quota of goals, and this is the equaliser. Curious header from Southgate, and now it's Tommy Wright against Humphrey. They've 2 men in the middle, and Leiber's desperate to get up there again. They've still plenty of men in as Pollock tries to swing it across. Optimistic appeals for handball, and Armstrong will try and hold off White, and this time he does get the better of him. And Chris Armstrong makes tracks towards goal. He might have just overdone it. He's held up momentarily, still gets the shot in. 2-1 Palace. David White scores. Armstrong's persistence and a mistake by the Middlesbrough keeper. Hendry. Now Tommy Wright. 2 former Leeds men there combining. Wright and Hendry. Wright's got to get the ball in, and he's going to overrun it. He's going to get a free kick though. I think that was right. It was the linesman who drew the referee's attention there to that challenge. But it was pretty obvious.
Yes, I think it's quite right, wasn't it? No, Wright looked to be getting around the outside of Humphrey there, and Humphrey obviously got his arm around him and balked him from getting to the byline, and right in front of the linesman. He was never going to get away with it.
Middlesbrough scored now. It would really set up the second half, wouldn't it? And Wilkinson goes for it, and Wilkinson does score. Thumping header from Paul Wilkinson, and what a game we've got in prospect now. The crowd are loving it, we're loving it. It's 2-2, and Paul Wilkinson certainly loved that.
Well, justice was done there, wasn't it? You know, it was a foul by John Humphrey over the far side that allowed the free kick. Here we see it coming in, and Paul Wilkinson scored so many goals like that. He actually got across John Humphrey as well, so it was John Humphrey who actually was marking him. We can see him here. The ball comes in, there he goes.
Here comes Simon Rogers' corner now for Palace. Armstrong's in there. Oh, what a terrific goal by Chris Armstrong.
Borough's promotion bid was finally over, and so too was the managerial reign of Lenny Lawrence. After 3 seasons in charge, the Borough boss was on his way out of Ayresome Park. Lawrence had tasted promotion and relegation, but failure to take Borough back to the Premier League at the first attempt signalled the end. It meant that Borough arrived at the Valley for the final match of the season without a manager, but a brilliant display was the start of an exciting new chapter.
Here's Fleming. Lovely ball into Hendry. Good skills from Hendry. Finds Pollock, looking for the cross. No way through. Fleming can find the way through. It's going to come across to Wilkinson, and Borough take the lead. Just 1 minute gone. Fantastic start for Middlesbrough. Here's Pollock finding Fleming. Lovely flighted cross. Comes across to Wilkinson. Borough again looking rampant. This could be number 2. Here's Hendry. It is. Where was the Charlton defence there? Peake finding a lovely ball across. Raiding down here. The Charlton defence, and there's Hendry. Where was the Charlton defence? Here's Leeburn. Charlton looking to get back into the game. Crosses it back to Walsh. 2-1. Charlton are back. Charlton looking for that equaliser. Good ball up to Gary Nelson. And it's 2-2. Charlton are back in it. Lovely finish from Nelson. Borough's corner. Wilkinson first to show. That'll come to Hendry, and Borough are back in the lead, 3-2. Wilkinson well up there. Hendry finding himself on his own. Here's Pollock. Good running through the middle of the park. Finds Hendry. And Hendry finds the back of the net, 4-2. Lovely goal from John Hendry. Great ball from Pollock. And look at this for a great finish. Superb goal. There's Moen finding Peake. Lovely flick from Hendry. This is Pollock. It's number 5, it is! It's number 5. And Charlton are dead and buried now.
Despite failing to make the playoffs, Borough had wrapped up the season on an impressive note. An early warning that Borough intended to make a strong promotion bid when the new campaign kicked off. Borough had finished in 9th position, 4 points short of the final playoff position. Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest won automatic promotion, and Leicester City went on to win the playoff final at Wembley. 10 days after signing off the season in style at the Valley came an even bigger boost when Ayresome Park welcomed a new messiah. Brian Robson was the man chosen to take over as player manager, an ambitious move by the Borough board.
There's not really much for me to say, ladies and gentlemen, only that if Middlesbrough Football Club went as ambitious as what I want to be myself as a manager, I wouldn't be standing here now. And I had numerous offers throughout the country at different levels. And to me it just shows what Middlesbrough want to do, that I'm standing here today. And I'll be signing a new 3-year deal. And I'm looking forward to the challenge of being a manager. I'm looking forward to trying to build a successful side. And July next year we'll have a fabulous stadium to play in. And the facilities are excellent, what is going to be brought into Middlesbrough Football Club. So I've got every opportunity to be a success as a manager. The board are backing me 100%, and that's why I'm standing here today.
What can he bring to Middlesbrough? He can bring to Middlesbrough a huge amount of experience, an expertise, a phenomenal amount of contacts within the game, but most of all, his own judgment on players. We believe that he has so much experience that has got to help his judgment. We need to strengthen the squad, we need to strengthen the playing side. Our ambitions, we've had long discussions with Brian, our ambitions are as one, and that is to make this club a major force at the very highest level of football as quickly as possible. Our immediate target is to win promotion to the Premier League as First Division champions next season. We know that that will need team strengthening, and we have made available the necessary funds to Brian to accomplish that.
Robson's appointment awakened a new wave of interest and optimism. His arrival was clearly popular with the Ayresome Park fans, who turned out to welcome him on his first day at the club. Robbo was back in the North East, and the former England captain had big ideas.
Do you know much about the club? Do you know much about the players that are here?
Yes, I know quite a bit. I mean, I've played against quite a few of them. You know, you see them on TV now and again. So yes, but the one thing about knowing the club and the history of the club and everything, I know one thing, that they're ambitious and that they've got a lovely stadium which is going to be finished next year. You know, and that's the main thing to me.
How important a part of the decision-making process was that new stadium and the ambition?
It was more or less the full part, you know, because as far as when the press talk about the money side of it on my own contract, I mean, I could have went to so many clubs on the same money, so it wasn't a fact of that with me. It was, I just felt that this was the right move for me on the ambition side of this club, on the playing side for myself, and also just the step up into management and the support I've had from the board since I've come to this club.
What is the challenge? Is it the fact that Middlesbrough, with all due respect to them, are a football club that hasn't been to Wembley in a major tournament. Is that the challenge you'd like to take a team like that and then push it forward?
No, well, my first aim is to try and get them into the Premiership, because I think the stadium and the setup and the fans all deserve that, because I do think that this is a Premier League club. That's my first aim. If we were ever to get to a final, that would be icing on the cake. But there's a long way to go before that. All I'm looking forward to, the challenge at the moment, is hopefully getting a few players to come to the club who will turn out to be good, really good players who can hold their own in the Premiership. And if I can add a few players like that into the team that's already here, then you know, I'll be pleased with the job that I've done.